All right, so this is the review of DIanne Crowther's book, Sustaining Persons. Really sweet book dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's among the elderly and among people who are dealing with memory loss and things of that nature. It's a very disheartening issue about millions of Americans who are ultimately affected by Alzheimer's and this heinous disability of dementia, losing your mind or losing or the inability to remember or recall even self-care. That struck me as something that was really, really interesting, to know that you can essentially lose your functionality and your ability to even remember how to take care of yourself. That strikes me as very, very disheartening, having to see or deal with someone, even in a pastoral role, having to be there for that person. Suppose you have a person or member of your congregation who has a parent who is struck with dementia and they ask you to go and visit them. Very relevant situations or issues to deal with. How do you deal with that as a pastor in dealing with pastoral care? DIanne seems to have very good insight on starting with personhood. I think she reiterated this very, very good, and she also deals with theological perspectives of dealing with the personhood. She states that there's an ongoing discussion around the implications of personhood and self while in dementia. How do you deal with someone who is losing their memory, someone who is losing a part of themselves, losing their identity, and even furthermore, the difficulty in focusing on what she said, the disappearance of the true self. How do you know who you're talking to? In some relations, it seemed as though the best way to care for an individual who is dealing with dementia on the pastoral side is that although it may be very difficult, there's also the embodied self. And one of the things that she noted is that as it relates to pastoral care, it becomes self-evident that relating to persons with respect and seeking to connect with, relate to, and be present with persons in their bodies in sustaining persons. So it's simply, what I picked up was, simply being there, whatever form of memory that they have, simply being there for them and being there for the individuals who may be losing their parents or their loved ones to this disease, this Alzheimer's, this dementia. It's very disheartening again. It really awakened me to the realities of being more so a pastor who cares about those individuals, who cares for those individuals, and then what to do in situations, because those are real life issues. You have people who are suffering in those manners, people who are losing the memory or losing their minds, and little by little, slowly by slowly, their loved ones are disappearing from their true identity or from what they have known their identities to be. So being there and being present, connected with, and trying to relate to with persons within that body or within that frame of mind, wherever frame of mind they may be having or memory that they may be recalling, simply being there with them as they begin to transition. So that's one of the things that I picked up from the story.